I have me and you listed as the guests on the show today. How's it going, boys and girls out there? What's up? We'll be with you live here in just about 3 or 4 minutes.
Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
From the CZ Studios.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense begins right now. It's a garbage day at the ranch. Greg in Dallas, Texas. We're here in the CZ Studios with everybody. How are you today, my brother?
Not too bad. It's post-garbage day for my ranch.
It is garbage day here today, and I did not get the garbage out. But I'll tell you what's really fun. If you listen carefully, you can hear the buzz and hum of the amplifiers. You can hear the AC going. It's 82 degrees, almost 85 degrees, actually. It's actually hot, and I love it. Welcome to spring. Everything's popping and turning green. I've got a cherry blossom tree out in the side of the house, side yard there, back by the creek, down here in the holler. at the ranch? It exploded this morning.
Yeah, it's that time.
It's that time. That also means sinus time, where this stuff here that I use for my sinuses begins to kick
Yeah.
up. Been fighting that heat thing going on all day. Hey, it's just me and you today, Greg, or you and I, however you want to phrase that, grammatically correct.
All right.
And I'm breaking, just so you know, every rule of no food or drink in the studio, which I always do, but I have an
Typical,
ice-cold 8-ounce Coca-Cola bottle.
Those are so good.
They are so refreshing, aren't they?
They're great, but seeing as though I use Coke to clean off my battery, I don't really drink it.
Well, maybe that's what makes it refreshing. You know, what's kind of fun, though, is, well, the reason it breaks all the rules, maybe see if I can figure that, you can figure that one out for me. Hold on.
Perfect.
That's
product
why,
placement
because,
sponsor here.
yeah, and I got nothing to do with Coke. Trust me, I'm not on their payroll, unfortunately, right? They're right down the road in Atlanta, 45, 50, 60 miles away. I should talk to them. But anyway, because every time you take a swig of Coca-Cola, it makes you want to, burp.
Yep.
Which is why you don't drink carbonated beverages on air, but we violate that rule every single day. Hey, Greg, we're live on Facebook for you, ladies and gentlemen, facebook.com/Armed American Radio. You can also catch us over on rumble.com/Armed American Radio. Greg, I'll let you do your thing, and then you and I will get cracking because the guest lineup today is us.
It's pretty thin.
It's thin, and we're going to have some fun. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to do a Google Gun Control Live for you on the air. I've got it set up, and I'm going to share the Google Gun Control screen with you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll pick and choose our stories, pick and choose our fights as we go. Greg, go right ahead and tell people where else they can watch us and all that fun stuff, and we'll kick off the show.
All right, yeah, sure. Other places to watch the show are going to be YouTube. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. You can head over to X and watch us there at AAR Mark. You can head over to the website, which is armedamericanradio.org or .com. Hit that menu icon, then select your watch live or listen live option. And lastly, if you'd like to join our live chat, all you have to do is download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
So over the buzz and hum of the amplifiers, which are cranked in here, by the way, today.
I don't hear a buzz or a hum.
Well, that's a good thing. And the AC, which I just turned off. Let's get started today. By the way, the beard thing, I still got it going on, fighting the itch.
Yeah.
I talked to Dr. John Adine last night. He goes, hey, that beard's coming in, man. Keep it going. I'm like, okay, I got to fight the itch, John. I got to fight the itch there, Doc.
You'll get past
keep it going. I hope so, because my whole family's going, well, how long are you going to keep that thing going? We got that whole
Until it looks
going.
cool. That's how long.
Until it looks cool. So you got to get through that grubby phase, right?
Well, get you a little beard comb, and when it starts itching, just comb it, and that'll scratch your face. And then eventually it'll be too long to where it won't itch, and you'll just be combing it out so it looks nice.
Okay. Well, if my daughter's cat that's not declawed wants to scratch my face later, you'll know tomorrow if you're watching me, because you'll see I'll be all cut up because that thing.
Probably not gonna happen.
I don't speak cat, man, and that cat and me, we don't get along that well.
I speak backhand to cats, so.
Okay. Yeah, I don't speak cat, but anyway, he's kind of cool. His name is PJ, and I've never seen a cat answer to anything.
No.
I don't know if cats do that or not. Anyway, Greg, there's yesterday we were talking about that Supreme Court case. I talked with Jared Yanis about that, guys. We're talking about the Case v. Montana case. We're going to talk more about that. In fact, I believe the entire roundtable coming up on Sunday is going to be the Case v. Montana case. I was talking with the boys today by chat. Justin's very concerned right now with the way the war in Iran is going. And he's very concerned. There's that Coca-Cola problem right there, by the way, guys.
There
That's why
you
don't go. What can I tell you? It just kind of happens. There's nothing you can do about it. But he's concerned about the war in Iran. We'll ask Justin about that. We'll see if he changes his concern or fears. He's worried about the midterms is what he's concerned with, which is legitimate, by the way, because the mainstream media will do everything they can to Trump to damage him during the midterms, which is critical for us and for our gun rights. And I think Justin's fears are not unfounded. Let me put it that way. But I was a little surprised by his take on that today, so we'll see what he has to say about that. But the Case v. Montana, Jared Yanis and I talked about that today. It's fascinating, and he's going to jump in the program with us coming up in the next few days to talk about it as well. A lot of people are studying that decision that we talked about yesterday, and it is quite a fascinating one. Ryan Petty had a differing opinion than I did when we chatted about it earlier today on Sotomayor's response about guns being, in 50% of the homes, and when there is a gun present, it exacerbates the situation. And I had to hand it on that one because when you're talking about specifically that case, that's a true statement. But I'm going to have to go back and reread it on Ryan's request because you sense the anti-gun in her when she writes that in the concurring opinion. I get all that. Trust me, I get it. She's never going to vote for our gun rights. I get it. But was she talking narrowly about this case, or was she talking broad brush? Well,
Yeah, I haven't seen or heard the comments, so I can't.
yeah,
really
we'll go
say
back to
anything.
that during the week, and we'll cover that in greater detail. I want to go back after talking to Ryan today, and I haven't had a chance to do that. I've read all of it, but I want to go back and specifically look at those lines because I understand where his fear comes from. Obviously, she will never vote in favor of our gun rights on that bench, ever. I will be shocked. Now, that's why it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Hamani case, because guns play a major role in the Hamani case. Is she going to defer to the I'm a liberal, let everybody smoke weed, even and just ignore the gun issue? Don't know. We're going to find out between now and summer, guys, when that Hamani decision comes out. Interesting stuff. We also have the Wolford v. Lopez case that we'll be getting information on. And there is some speculation. Some folks in Washington are talking about the court now getting closer and closer to taking a gun ban case. This is very necessary for Virginia. It's necessary for the whole country to put these gun grabbers to bed permanently on this issue and put their lights out on this and just knock them out. Cold cock it. Boom. Done. But more important for Virginia right now, because we don't, not all of us are faced with those behind the blue wall gun bans facing us in the face. And I have a feeling when we Google gun control today, I think Virginia is probably going to come up because they're nearing the end of their session. And, well, you're getting ready to see a whole slew of stuff. Get ready to get the signed signature from Spamberger. Spamberger. Is that her name? Spanberger? We'll call her
Might as well be.
Spamberger with an M, right? Let's call her that.
Yeah.
With an M. But did you want to, I didn't get a chance to ask you about that case in Montana. Did you want to weigh in on that from yesterday? Guys, this is where the individual was threatening suicide, made a phone call to his ex-girlfriend. She called 911. Cops showed up and went into the house without a warrant and found him alive. He did not kill himself, but he was known to law enforcement. He had threatened suicide by cop before. And they went in, but it took them 40 minutes to go in. They didn't just go there and put the battering rams up.
Yeah.
They decided as to whether to do it, and it was, in fact, a wellness check. And that city in Montana actually has a wellness check, bill or I can say law, okay, in place that they can do that. And this guy sued that it was a violation of his Fourth Amendment, and he lost at the Supreme Court. In a 9-0 decision, the cop said, no, this was a clear case of a wellness check. He had threatened suicide. They knew there were guns there. He had threatened suicide by cop before. It's okay. I didn't disagree with that decision. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I was
no.
gonna say, I'm right there with you because you filled in a lot of the potential questions I was going to have. Is does Montana have a wellness check provision in their laws that allows them to go in and check in the instance of an emergency like that? I think 40 minutes is too long. It reminds me of cops not doing anything in Uvalde, and there being a life in danger inside of a building.
Many lives in danger in
correct.
that case.
And in the Uvalde case, yes, but in this instance, I'm just saying law enforcement remaining outside when they probably should already be inside doing something.
Yeah,
And
you're right. And here's the thing with that, Greg. There was a video put out called Law and Ammo, and I believe it was GOA sponsored. And I took issue with that, and I'll tell you why. I know we're going to run up against the clock, but I think it's really important, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to be talking about this case. There's differing opinions on both sides, and it's fun to talk about. I'll tell you why I agree with the decision and what I don't like about it, because I do understand that some of this can be ripe for abuse. But here's the thing, folks. The cops, that's always been the case with law enforcement. And how much time do we have, Greg? 20 seconds, something like that?
5 seconds.
5 seconds. We're going to a break. When we come back, we'll jump back into this very, very important stuff. Then we're going to Google gun control in real time for you. And, well, we'll see what pops up. I have a gut feeling that Virginia will come up. I don't know it, but I have a gut feeling.
20.
Simply because the legislative session is getting ready to come to a close out there, and they're going to want to throw everything at the wall. So we'll see what's getting ready to pop in Virginia, I'm sure, when we Google gun control for you live on the air, coming up right after the break. Don't go away.
following segment of Armed American Radio is proudly being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, welcome back to the CZ Studios. If you're watching, I had to get a new 8-ounce Coca-Cola, Greg. They're just too refreshing. And, wow, on a hot day when things are turning green outside, I'm feeling good, man. And the Coca-Cola just is really good, so I'm there.
Yeah, I'm going to have to mow my yard too soon this year.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, there's that. All right.
Yeah.
So, guys, National Rifle Association, NRA.org. Please join them, NRA.org. Join us, longtime member. You need to be a member as well. It's very, very important, particularly as we Google gun control. You're going to hear why. Now, I don't know exactly what's going to come up. We're going to do it live for you in real time, and we'll share the screen for you online. If you're listening on radio, which many of you are, of course, this is a radio show. Most of you are listening on radio. We're going to do that spontaneously for you, and we're going to go right to the headlines and see what's up. It's kind of a gutsy move to do, but we know that there's always going to be something out there because there's always something out there. There always is, and it's fun to do. But I do want to go back to that case in Montana quickly. Texas Huntsman jumped in the chat here, and let me read a comment from him. Sotomayor is a tyrant, and everything she writes will be from that point of view. She gets zero leeway with me. She has told us frequently who she is, so I take her at her word. She is an anti-freedom tyrant. I don't disagree with that at all, TX Huntsman. I don't. I agree with you entirely. However, that's why I want to go back and look at specifically, Greg, like we were talking about before the break, what she had to say specifically. Did she get outside the guardrails, or was she talking specifically about this case? Because I made the comment yesterday, and I think this is where we were getting ready to go, Greg. We were trying to figure out where we were. We get to talking about so much during the break.
Yep.
But when she made that comment that guns are a problem, okay, and then I made the comment yesterday that, guy, we've got to be really honest with ourselves here. When it's at this particular case, and there was a gun involved, or more than one gun involved, with an individual who had a history of that and had threatened in a 911 call that he was going to take cops with him, suicide by cop, and we know there's a gun there, in that particular case, Sotomayor was right. You can't deny that. It's impossible to deny that. The question is, was that an excuse that she's going to use to step outside the guardrails all the time, and is that what she was referring to? So we're going to go back and look at that and pay very, very careful attention to that. And that's where we're at on that, Greg. I'll let you have the final word on that, and then we'll move over to Googling some gun control. Just time is going to get away from us, always does.
Yeah, briefly, Sotomayor, tyrant, will always sign gun control laws. Moving on.
Okay, yeah, you're absolutely correct about that. She will never support us. But we did mention, the Hamani case. So, it's fun to talk about. I enjoy talking about that. Okay, let's pull up. I'm going to share the screen here with you guys, and you can see I have partly Google gun control up. And let's go ahead and do the gun control. Let's see what we got here. And more news. Let's go to the news feed on here, and here we are. So, proposed Virginia gun. There we go. We wondered if Virginia was going to come up. Proposed Virginia gun laws spark concern, boost sales at Marion Gun Store. Reason Magazine, that's WCYB. Reason Magazine, here are 12 bills Democrats just passed to trample gun rights in Virginia. Let's go to that one, Greg.
All right.
Let's tackle that. This is from Reason Magazine, or Reason.com. Here are 12 bills Democrats just passed to trample gun rights in Virginia. Some gun rights activists are blaming immigrants, but the real culprits are Virginia Democrats. I can't argue with that. Would you? No,
not at all.
Democrats have introduced 18 bills in the Virginia General Assembly to restrict gun rights since January. 12 have already cleared both chambers. Now, it was my understanding that they had introduced as many as 40. Many of those bills died, apparently, okay? But there are 18. According to Reason, 12 have already cleared both chambers. 10 are before Governor Abigail Bamberger, and 2 more are awaiting enrollment before heading to her desk. Not one is co-sponsored by a Republican, which is a good thing, which we expected in Virginia. On the governor's desk right now, as this assembly gets ready to close out, guys, she's going to sign these if they move through, and they've already passed part way. Imposition of civil liability on the firearms industry. That's Senate Bill 27. 2, an expansion of red flag laws. That's House Bill 901. And how does it expand red flag laws? I think it's important that we get into that. Reason explains this Virginia's red flag laws by permitting immediate family members, intimate partners, including individuals, quote, who within the previous 12 months was in a romantic dating or sexual relationship with the person. Are you kidding me? That's not going to be ripe for abuse. Let's talk about that for just a moment. How many of you have been in a really crappy, lousy relationship that you couldn't wait to get out of?
Oof.
Now, be honest with yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Greg, you said, oof. I'll spell that O-O-O-O-O-F. Am I right about that? Is that the oof?
Pretty dang close.
I have, anybody that's been alive and has been in a relationship has been in a relationship. And guys, there's only two things here. So let's apply this to the case v. Montana. We can do that. It was an ex-girlfriend, right?
Yep.
So here you got a guy who, in my estimation, let's just be frank here. I'm just going to be me because I can and it's my show. This is a guy that's a real wimp, all right? He's obviously weak. And I forget the mental health deal. Screaming and crying to his ex-girlfriend. We all know the routine. We know what's going on here. Come back, I miss you. One of these things going on.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill myself. Boo! First of all, if that's the way you look at your life, you're a loser. Okay? Here's why. Because there's only two options here. Either she left you, and if she left you, that's a good thing. You don't need her. You want somebody in your life that's going to walk out on you? That's a good thing she left you. Deal with it. Man up. Or you kicked her to the curb. Am I missing something in that equation, Greg? Both of those things wind up being a positive if you man up and say, hey, I'm moving on with my life. What am I missing here? Or is that just me being a jerk?
I think it boils down to dealing with reality and understanding the gravity of the situation. That sometimes partners are like buses. Another one will be along in 10 minutes.
We've all been through bad breakups, particularly when we're young, right?
Oh yeah.
As we're just figuring out life, okay? And a lot of people confuse a sexual attraction with love, right? Particularly when you're really young, all right? Hormones are raging and all that nonsense going on. And I get all that. I've been there. Everybody's been there if they're honest. And then the girl leaves you. If I'm honest with myself, I can think of a couple girls that broke me up.
It happens to all of us.
But I don't recall simping out to the point where I threatened to shoot myself in the head.
No.
Or kill the cops. Did I ever make a phone call and say, let's just be honest. You ever get drunk and dial, folks? Come on, let's be honest.
Ooh, 30.
Have you?
Hide the phone.
That's a big mistake, okay? And that's likely what happened in the case. When we come back from the break, we'll continue this conversation. We'll tie it back to this red flag law because it is tied to this red flag law. Oh, good heavens. And then you have to ask the question, why do they want to expand it to include that subgroup of people who can make a phone call and attend a hearing ex parte, meaning you're not invited and you don't even know it's happening, that can result in a knock on your door at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, surprise visit from law enforcement with a signed order from a judge to take your stuff. Wow. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. But it's a fun conversation. We'll be back and continue it right after the break.
following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, welcome back to the show indeed. PatriotMobile.com, PatriotMobile.com. We will not have a guest on from Patriot Mobile this week. They have a big wedding thing going on at Patriot Mobile. It's a family, so they're going to enjoy that and have a blast, and good for them. I hope they do, and they'll enjoy that, I'm sure. Patriot Mobile phone, though, I have mine right here. I'm holding it up, and boom, there it is, hitting the microphone. PatriotMobile.com. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to be in Houston at the NRA convention, Patriot Mobile will be there with a booth. Will AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile be there, Greg, with a booth supporting your
Probably
guns?
not.
No, they will not. So if you haven't decided yet that you want to make a jump over to Patriot Mobile, because a lot of people have this thing in their heads, oh, it's a real hassle, I've had my phone for years. You're still going to have your phone, and you're still going to have your number. You're just going to be paying a company that supports your gun rights and takes some of the money that you give them for that bill, which you're going to pay anyway, and they're going to support your gun rights with it. That's a win-win, guys, okay, all the way around. So if you haven't thought about it, or maybe you're thinking about it and you haven't gotten off the fence yet, and you're going to be in Houston, stop by the booth and talk with the guys. Talk with Scott. Talk with the people that you hear. Danielle, we love Danielle Buck on the program. She'll be there. Come say hello. I'll be there. Walk up and say hi. And they'll handle it all for you. PatriotMobile.com/AAR. We have you covered. And Greg, quickly, how many cups of blackout coffee do you think I had to start my day today? And I will tell you that I had blackout coffee to start my day. How many cups do you, as we say south of the Mason-Dixon line, do you reckon I had?
At least 2 or 1 whole pot.
No, I had equivalent of 2 cups in 1 cup.
Yeah, there you go.
I went with the directions and doubled it to see, and whew, yeah, it worked.
Had the 16-ounce mug with the 2 8-ounce cups.
And that's because over the last couple nights, I actually got a lot of sleep. And when I get a lot of sleep like that, I tend to stay drowsy and want to keep sleeping. And the weird thing is I'm noticing the time change because it's 9 o'clock by the time I get up, which is really 8. You know, that whole weird thing's still going on. But I can deal with it, I guess. But I have Blackout Coffee. Blackoutcoffee.com/AAR, ladies and gentlemen. Pick it up. Support us, support the show, and support Blackout Coffee. They support the show. That also supports Jared Yanis over at Guns and Gadgets. It is a win-win all the way around, and guess what? You get great coffee. And it's better than the other coffee we had here for a long time. As much as I don't like to say that, it is true. Okay? You can believe what I'm telling you on that. We drink it here at the ranch, and my wife is now drinking it out from under me, and I'm having to double and triple my orders at the same time. So that's all cool. It's all good. It's all good. Blackoutcoffee.com. All right, Greg, back to this red flag deal here. Okay, we were talking. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, let me go to Texas Huntsman's got some great comments in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get shouted out in the chat, get active in there. He was talking about Sotomayor, and I commented, you know, is she getting outside the boundaries here? And Texas Huntsman, so pretty much every young, well, we'll go back to that in a minute. He says, yes, she's going to. And then when we were talking about the romantic relationships where we're at here, he says, so pretty much every young adult guy or girl who's ever had a romantic partner is DQ'd under this law. And by that, I mean their rights are violated. Yeah, could be. That's what's so dangerous about this. Guys, as we're talking about being in this romantic relationship, this is a recipe for disaster. Greg, you and I were talking during the break. Let's bring some of that back to the microphone. Because if you've ever been in that situation when you're younger, things like that, you know, you might act different. You're going to act differently as you get older. That's for sure. If you don't, well, you got issues. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, by allowing someone who's been in a sexual relationship with you for the previous 12 months that might have turned south, to be able to make an accusation like that against you to a judge. And maybe it's because you're out there simping and making all these phone calls and she's over it. And maybe the new boyfriend's like, man, you gotta do something about this. I'm getting tired of this. If you want to keep dating me, you need to do something. Boom. Red flag. Guess what happens? There are others, school administrators, licensed medical professionals, among others, to petition a judge for an emergency substantial risk order to prohibit the person subject thereto, quote unquote, from purchasing, possessing, or transporting a firearm for the duration of the order. For the duration of the order. Greg, recipe for disaster.
Yeah, absolutely. This is this could easily lead up into a lot of time in court trying to hash this out. And
Yeah.
I mean, I even see this as a potential.
Yep, I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
Maybe potential vengeance for people that just don't like you, and they don't like the cut of your jib. Maybe you're a parent picking up your child at school one day, and the teacher doesn't like you, the principal doesn't like you. Something is said. Maybe you have an interaction. You're wearing a shirt or something that they don't like, and they all of a sudden feel like, oh, well, in this state we can, red flag law people anonymously, and then here you go.
It goes farther. I thought you were actually going to go in the direction I'm going to go now. You're right about that. But imagine what happens if that guy's already unhinged.
Oh, yeah.
And he finds out it was her. Now you've got a domestic dispute situation lining up where he's going to be angry enough to go after her.
Yep.
I mean, this is just a recipe. This is just bad all the way around.
This is government getting in where they need to stay out of.
Stay the hell off my lawn. And the older you get, folks, those of you who know. IYKYK, right? If you know, you know. The older you get, the smarter you get. The bigger your get off my blanket lawn sign becomes.
Huge.
In a big way. So this is a recipe, absolute recipe for disaster. There's no doubt about it. Whew. Yeah, nothing good coming from this whatsoever. Number 3, prohibition on plastic firearms outlaws the knowing manufacture, transfer, and possession of any plastic firearm and any firearm that is not detectable as a firearm by X-ray machines. I don't know of any firearm that's not detectable by X-ray machines. This is a
straw man.
This is a straw man, no doubt about it. This is a solution looking for a problem.
The only guns that can't be detected by a metal detector are the ones that are in the movies. Because there's not really, with exception, granted the CIA has some, and I'm sure other foreign intelligence agencies, Russia and other places, have assassination weapons that they can get through metal detection and stuff like that. But for your average individual, if say you've got a P80 that you made out of the kit, and it's the 80%, and you're still going to go buy a metal slide, and it's going to have a metal barrel, and all your magazine is going to be metal most likely, if not the spring will be, and so will the ammunition that's in it. And there's going to be your trigger, your hammer, all of that is going to be metal. So it's going to set off in some form or fashion. There's just this
It's a lie.
This aberration of the non-metallic gun is just absurd because you can't shoot a projectile without, even if it was ceramic and they think that's a great way to get through metal detection, that is going to shatter the moment a bullet goes through it.
Yeah, in addition to that, the good example of that is go back to the 80s with the Glocks. They can get through airborne metal detector. No, they can't.
Yep.
Okay? It's nothing but a ruse and a lie from the media. Number 4, gun buybacks programs being mandated. House Bill 702 will require that, quote, each county or city law enforcement agency shall develop policies and procedures to implement either a firearm give-back program or a firearm buyback program by January 1, 2028. An unintended consequence of this bill is that it incentivizes the fabrication of new, cheap firearms for sale to the buyback program, which will come at the expense of Virginia taxpayers. I'm not even worried about that.
Someone cashing in gift cards?
Yeah, it's not even that with me. What I'm talking about here is this nonsense that you're giving back something to someone that never
100%.
owned it to begin with, or someone is buying it back from you.
30.
The whole thing is a flat-out, bald-faced lie. This is Democrats for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, with the recently talked about potential machine gun laws that are being loosened up to sell to the public, where the government's going to sell to the public, this could potentially then fall into that category where the local government sold those firearms and now the government can take those firearms back. And that could lead to further instances down the line to where that the government's manufacturing firearms, which is your right, and now they're going to be buying them back.
Yeah, and when we come back, I'm going to go to number 5. We'll go through the rest of the list just because it's here and it's fun and they just hand it to us every single day. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense with Mark Walters, filling your prescription for freedom here in the CZ studios at the Patriot Mobile Command Center. We'll be back right after the break. Don't go away. Hey, guys. Well, I'll be back from the break here in just a couple of moments. Let me address a couple comments in here about the NRA range bags. An update, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to take more time than we had anticipated, and the National Rifle Association, and here is why. Because there was a restructure that occurred during that giveaway, which has caused a massive delay. A lot of the people who were involved in that were, in fact, furloughed and are no longer there, and the catch-up on that is taking some time. So please bear with me when I get an update, and it might be I'll get the update when I'm actually at the NRA convention meeting with management at the NRA. Either way, I will get an update for you. So stay patient with me, okay? We appreciate it. You do have your NRA membership, and that's a great thing. Hang in there. And worst case scenario, if it delays more than I want it to delay, I will take care of that grand prize giveaway personally myself, and we'll make sure that you get those bags, okay? So hang in there. I have already been assured. It's just a terrible staffing problem because the individuals, 36 people were furloughed, and as a result of that, that has really slowed this process up, and I do apologize for that, so please hang in there, okay? Guarantee you it is being worked on. I promise you that. And we'll be back from the break here in just a moment. Don't go away.
This segment is brought to you by Attorneys on Retainer. Get the only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back.
Most no-brainer sponsor we've ever had. I say that religiously every single day coming into the fourth segment of every single show. Absolute no-brainer. If you have made a decision to carry a firearm, why would you not put a lawyer in your back pocket for $37 a month? Why would you hesitate? Just do it. God forbid you have to use your firearm, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to want a lawyer. It's that simple. You're going to need one. Maybe it's such a great shoot. Maybe you get lucky. Do you want to take that chance? For $37 a month, I'm not willing to take that chance. I want a lawyer, and I have one. Not only do I have one, I have an entire team. I have the entire law firm, and if I have to go to court, if I get charged with a crime, and I'm looking at doing prison time, trust me, I'm not built for prison. Don't want to go to prison. I want as many lawyers fighting that as I can get. And without Attorneys on Retainer, I'm going to spend thousands of dollars an hour instead of $37. And I guarantee you, the sick feeling in the pit of your stomach when you think, my God, I should have done that. You don't even want to live with that thought. So just do it. $37 a month, attorneysonretainer.us/AAR. Get yourself a cup of blackout coffee, sit down, and go to the page. Read the testimonials, watch the videos, listen to Mark Victor, the founder, talk to you about the importance of this program, and pull the trigger, pun intended, okay? It's really, really simple. attorneysonretainer.us. Just get it done. Make it happen. Find it in your kids' piggy bank jars if you have to. Trust me on this one. Get it done. Pull up your couch cushions. All right? Get it done. It's $37 a month, guys, and you save $25 off the sign-up fee. Please, 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 don't let this, don't let this, you don't want to be that person that just said, oh, my God, now I've got to mortgage everything, and I'm going to go bankrupt in the process when it just absolutely isn't necessary. You don't have to. This card solves that problem for you, and I promise you will sleep better at night. I do, and my kids do. I sleep better knowing my kids have it when they're carrying their firearms, which is everywhere they go. AttorneysOnRetainer.us. Don't forget to get some shopping done over at budsgunshop.com. Pick up a Crossbreed holster. Visit crossbreedholsters.com. Carry all of I use 2 manufacturers, and Crossbreed is one of them. Been carrying in their holsters for years. All of my guns, all of them. 10 millimeter carrying in that today in a Crossbreed Super Tuck. It's wonderful. You don't even know I have it. It's a beautiful thing. Crossbreedholsters.com. Patriots Relief, if you want some pain relief. I used that just yesterday. In fact, I have it here in the drawer. Patriots Relief. I've bought all that stuff for my shoulder. It works wonders. It really, truly does. All right, guys, let's go back to this. We ended with, I think, the gun buyback programs, the mandated gun buyback programs, Greg.
Yep.
Let me move to the firearms prohibited in all public buildings. Now, again, this is a solution in search of a problem, all right, because this is Senate Bill 272, and it will ban all Virginians from carrying any firearm in any building owned or leased by the Commonwealth, such as the University of Virginia and the Virginia Capitol Building, as well as Capitol Square. And now, think about this in terms of Capitol Square, ladies and gentlemen. Capitol Square is the same place where the Virginia Citizens Defense League gathered nearly 1,000 gun rights activists 1 week after the bill's introduction just this year without any incident whatsoever. It's where 50,000 Virginians gathered several years ago. 50,000, the vast majority armed, with no incidents. Not anymore. And you know the worst part about this, Greg, is you walk in a place and don't know it's publicly owned by the state or the Commonwealth. You don't know.
Yeah.
And you find yourself violating a law that wasn't a violation yesterday. And trust me when I tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, when they Californicate your state, they're going to act on it. And if they can pop you, they will. It will solve no crimes. It is designed to do one thing: hassle law-abiding citizens, period. That's it. No firearms allowed in mental health hospitals. This is Senate Bill 173, forbidding the possession of a weapon in hospitals that render mental health or developmental services. The law would apply to 1/3 of the more than 150 Virginia inpatient hospitals, including the state's 43 private psychiatric hospitals and the 9 behavioral health facilities operated by the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services. Firearms prohibited near polling places. Within 100 feet of a polling place while the polls are open and ballots are being counted. I guess it's okay for the Black Panthers to be out there with nightsticks
Exactly
and
what I
garbage,
was
right?
thinking.
You were thinking that. I know you well enough to know that, as we talked about that years ago when that went down.
Yep.
But you can't defend yourself within 100 feet of a
Well,
polling place.
I mean, maybe the recent case, but the original case is like from '68, where the Black Panthers were out in front of the polling stations in Oakland.
Yeah, you're going back a ways on that one. Now, we're talking more recently. But yeah. I mean, so there you have it.
They have a history of it.
Number 8, firearm ownership restricted for certain misdemeanor offenses. Misdemeanor offenses, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the administration, the DOJ, yesterday quietly restored felon gun rights. We're going to talk about that later in the week on the Sunday
finally got
Monster,
that?
that quietly went by yesterday, and I was talking briefly with Neil McCabe about that. He'll be reporting on that for us from Real America's Voice this Sunday.
I'm still curious
that's
as to who broke that to them that they needed to look into that law, because I remember mentioning it to Representative, what was his name? The Navy SEAL guy from Arizona that we had on.
It's
right there in front of my face. And I can't say
me
it.
too, and I know him well. I was out there. I filmed the interview with him and AAR Hawkins out in the desert on a very hot morning.
Anyways,
one
I
day a
talked to
couple years
him
ago.
before the show when he came on as a guest about that, and then 13 days later, there's the
Eli Crane.
DOJ.
Eli Crane.
Yep.
Eli
Rep.
Crane.
Yep.
I wasn't going to be able to go on the show, continue on with the show without thinking that. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't hear one word you said. I'm glad because I can see his face, and there it popped up.
No, I just remember mentioning that to him when I had like 5 minutes before we went on the air, and I told him about that and about it being an issue. And he actually mentioned to me that he had a friend that went through having his rights restored, and that it was a beast to get it done. But he had sympathy for me bringing that up, and I think he wrote it down and sent an email to DOJ. I don't know for sure. I haven't been able to reach out to him and say, hey, did you end up saying anything about that to DOJ? Is that why that got within? I think it was like just under 2 weeks after that conversation that DOJ announces that they're going to be rescinding the Schumer law, which is what I brought up to him.
Well,
the Schumer rule.
Greg is trying to take credit for that, just like I like to take credit for creating Pizza Hut breadsticks.
There you go.
So if you like Pizza Hut breadsticks, you can thank me. And if somebody's rolling their eyes going, oh, really? I mean, this guy's full of himself. All right, I got to go here. Back when I was in college, we used to eat Pizza Hut. I worked at a Pizza Hut. We used to eat, we got sick and tired of the Pizza Hut menu all the time, so we used to create our own food.
Yeah.
We started making breadsticks, garlic Parmesan breadsticks, out of the pan pizza dough.
Yeah.
And we'd cover them up and then put oil on them and all that stuff and then stick them in and pull them out and cut them into breadsticks. The owner came in. It was a privately owned Pizza Hut, and he loved them. And like 2 months later, they started appearing in every Pizza Hut around the country.
No topping cost, and it's nothing but bread, which sometimes goes to waste anyway.
I did that. So I will take credit for that, okay? Ta-da! I will take credit for that. Yes, sir. Good heavens. Number 9.
Well, I never mentioned it, though, on the air about me talking to Crane about that, so.
That's all right. You go ahead and take credit for that. That was Greg that got that taken care of, those of you.
I don't believe it was me. I don't. I'm just curious. I do not believe that.
Well, as always happens, we run out of time. There are more in Virginia. And I think we'll do this again tomorrow for that very reason, so we can continue. And the left will always give us more. We didn't get to anywhere near. We simply don't have the time to do it. But we will get to more of them tomorrow. That's why we're here every single day, ladies and gentlemen. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is going to get up and do it again because they don't want us to. Now, I do want to say this going into tomorrow. Soon to be passed is the assault weapons ban. And that's Senate Bill 749, and we're going to talk about that in detail tomorrow. I'm going to keep the screen up here so I don't lose it because we do want to go there with you on Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. Please visit all of our great partners. Get an attorney. Get some Blackout Coffee. Shop at Bud's Gun Shop. Buy a Crossbreed holster. CZ Car Arms. You know what to do. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. I'll see each and every one of you on the radio tomorrow.
Just filled your prescription for freedom on Armed American Radio with Mark Walters, the loudest voice in America fighting for gun rights.
All right, guys. Some of the other bills, Senate Bill 727. Greg, I don't think we've talked about this one. The end of open carry.
No, we haven't.
Virginia. Virginia has had open carry for years. Gold Star open carry state for years and years and years. You did not know, like, for example, in Georgia. Georgia was not what was considered a Gold Star open carry state. In order to openly carry in Georgia, you had to have a permit in your wallet. Now Georgia is a constitutional carry state. It's a Gold Star open carry state. You can carry your gun however you want here, living as a free man or woman. Senate Bill 727, guys, and we'll talk about this tomorrow on the show, not just online here, was introduced by Michael Jones. He's a Democrat, of course, from Richmond. Outlaws carrying semi-automatic rifles and pistols whose magazines have a capacity of more than 10 rounds in any place of whatever nature that is open to the public. Jesus Christ. Honest to God. These people will never, ever stop. And this goes on. Reason says the most popular pistols for concealed and open carry have a magazine capacity in excess of 10 rounds. That's absolutely true. So this law would effectively require gun owners who wish to openly carry to pay several $100s for a compliant lower capacity firearm. She has, by the way, until 11:59 p.m. on April 13th to sign these bills into law, considering she campaigned on gun control and pledged to sign such bills as recently as January 19th. She's likely to make good on her promise, which, ladies and gentlemen, she's going to do. Even if she doesn't sign them, which she will, they will go into effect within 30 days of reaching her desk, so long as she doesn't exercise her veto power. So, I don't know, make a prediction? Oh, no. That wench is absolutely going to sign them proudly, right in front of your face, because she campaigned on it. Mark my word. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Virginia is now a template for the rest of the nation. The Californication of Virginia is well underway, and it is a real shame. Elections have consequences. We'll be back to talk about it tomorrow. Guys, if you don't subscribe to the podcast, why not? Please do. Subscribe to the Armed American Radio podcast. It's simple. You can do that on any of your favorite podcast platforms. Just go over there and subscribe to it. We would appreciate it. And please, please, please help us over on YouTube in particular. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Lots of people view videos, but they don't subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button. We need your support over there as we continue to grow, okay? Please subscribe and like and share all of the videos that you see live and all that good stuff, and support us. We do appreciate it. We're trying to take back our social media, and it is working, and we need your continued support to do that. So if you don't yet subscribe to us on YouTube, please do. And if you don't follow us on X, it's real simple, at AAR Mark. Please do that. We appreciate the assistance. Okay, guys, love each and every one of you. I'll see you on the radio tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in today. Garbage day is over. We're over the hump. Tomorrow is a Thursday, one day closer to Greg's favorite day of the week. I'll see you on the radio tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.